and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erica with Memory Box Candle Co. And I make videos all about the journey of starting a candle business. And today's topic, I am going to be addressing flashpoints on fragrance oils, and I'm going to be addressing just some candle making myths that I have heard over the past few years. And I have actually made a previous video on this topic, but when I looked back on how long ago that was, it was the summer of 2020. So it's been almost 2.5 years since I filmed that video, and I realized I have so many new subscribers and viewers to my channel who have probably not seen that video before. So that is why I'm addressing it today, as well as the fact that I've been getting a lot of questions on this topic as of recently. So when it comes to flashpoints on fragrance oils, let me show you an example right here. So this is a Candle Science bottle of fragrance oil, and as you can see, it says that the flash point is 160 degrees. So flash point, 160 degrees Fahrenheit. So what essentially that means is that for this specific fragrance oil at 160 degrees Fahrenheit, if this was exposed to an open flame, it would ignite. If there's a separate fragrance oil that says 165, 170, that would be the point in which that fragrance oil would ignite. So how does this come into play with our candle making? Well, in 99% of the cases, it's not going to affect you at all. Just as a regular candle maker that's using wax like soy, coconut, paraffin, beeswax, any of those really common waxes, it's not going to impact your candle making whatsoever. The only time that you need to pay attention to the flash point is if you're using gel wax, or if you are shipping out the fragrance oil by itself, not mixed with a candle, but by itself, and you're shipping it by air. If you're shipping it by air, it has to have a flash point above 140 degrees. Otherwise, it can't be shipped by air. And gel has its own kind of thing. I don't know a lot about gel wax, but when you're working with gel wax, I think it has to do with something with working above, I believe, 170 degrees. I'll pop it up on the screen just so you can see. But those are the only two circumstances in which you will actually have to pay attention to the flash point. A lot of people think that it's actually the temperature in which you should be adding that specific fragrance oil to the wax at, but that's absolutely not true. In most cases, it is best to add in the fragrance oil at 185 degrees Fahrenheit. Adding it in at that temperature allows for that fragrance oil to completely bind with the wax. That way, when your candle is curing, it's not going to seep out on top or have these uneven distributions of the fragrance oil within the candle, like I had experienced when I was adding in the temperature at a much lower temperature, around 160-ish. I noticed that it just wasn't completely blending in throughout the candle, and I would get these weird like shiny hexagon kind of shapes on top of the wax that I had noticed. But once I brought up the temperature and brought it up to around 185 to 190, which is when I pour in my fragrance oil to my soy wax, that made a huge difference. It made the cold throw better, it made the hot throw better. It just improved everything with my candles when I had raised up that temperature. So now that is part of the candle making process that I am very much kind of like, I pay attention to the most. I don't really care about like the pour temperature or anything like that. That's not something that I really pay attention to. The most important part for me during the candle making process is making sure that that temperature is around that 185 to 190 when I am blending in the fragrance oil to the wax. And actually, because of this misconception, in a lot of my blending fragrance oil candle videos, I have a lot of people questioning me and asking, well, how do I know then what temperature to add in my fragrance oil to my wax at if all of the fragrance oils that I'm choosing to blend together have a different flash point? So I really hope that this video helped you to understand that the flash point does not make a difference. It's not telling you what temperature to add in to the wax at. It's really not telling you anything. It's mainly for other people or those two other situations that you need to pay attention to. It has nothing to do with the candle making process. Funny enough for me though, I'm kind of a weird exception just because I do have my candle making kits on my website. And within my candle making kits, I have the regular bottles. So I have 1 ounce Candle Science bottles. And the good thing about Candle Science is that all of their fragrance oils are compliant to be shipped by air. So that was kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to choose them to have in my candle making kit, but also just because I love Candle Science so much. But that was something that I actually had to think about because I do ship my candle making kits by air sometimes. So if you are somebody who is looking maybe to also have candle making kits, or in some way you may be shipping out the actual oils themselves, let's say you're shipping out maybe to host an event or a party, or ship out your supplies so somebody else can host a candle making event or party, that is maybe a time where you would definitely have to think about that and make sure that the fragrance oils have a flash point above that 140 degrees. But that is pretty much all I have to say on this topic. It's pretty straightforward, pretty cut and dry, that in most circumstances, if you're working with more of the common waxes instead of gel wax, you don't have to worry about the flash point at all. Just add in your fragrance oil to around that 185 degrees and you should be good to go with your fragrance oils. Do not worry about the scent burning off. That doesn't happen. I've never experienced that before, and sometimes I've added in my fragrance oils really hot before. And just talk to somebody who works exclusively with coconut wax, and they add in their fragrance oil anywhere from, I believe, 200 to like 215 degrees Fahrenheit. So do not believe that myth. Lots of myths busted in this video, and I really hope you enjoyed. If you still have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, feel free to leave it down in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave it a big thumbs up, as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at Memory Box Candle Co. And I will see you in my next video.